everyone. Today I get to return to Leonard Cohen, who has quickly become one of my favorite singer poets. And so I am eager and excited to hear yet another one of his creations. Today it's going to be Hey, That's No Way to Say Goodbye. Hey, That's No Way to Say Goodbye is a song by Leonard Cohen which was first released in November 1967 in a version by Judy Collins on her album Wildflowers. Judy Collins, that's the same woman, the same singer who I guess they did Suzanne together, or she did Suzanne and then he did Suzanne, something like that. And I listened to a performance where they both sang that song together. You can find that link right here. At the time that I listened to it, I didn't really understand how important this Judy Collins figure is in the whole Leonard Cohen music world. But I have since learned more, read more, heard many more of your comments, and now here it is coming back. Judy Collins first recorded this one. The following month, Cohen's own version was issued on his debut album, Songs of Leonard Cohen. So I'm not sure that I'm listening to Judy Collins' version today. I'm just listening to Leonard Cohen. But again, here she is, her name coming up, and a pretty important figure in his life, I guess. Cohen wrote the song while staying at the Penn Terminal Hotel on 34th Street in New York City in 1966. He wrote, "The room is too hot. I can't open the windows. I am in the midst of a bitter quarrel with a blonde woman. The song is half written in pencil, but it protects us as we maneuver, each of us, for unconditional victory. I am in the wrong room. I am with the wrong woman." Even that in itself, it could be so real life, but I get the feeling that it's his poet's imagination setting the stage for he's created an image of something that inspires him, puts him in a certain mood, and that is how the poem comes about. But, well, it could be real. Perhaps it really happened. I don't know, but, well, that's what he said. Let's see how it sounds.
I loved you in the morning, our kisses deep and warm, your hair upon the pillow like a sleepy golden storm. Yes, many love before us, I know that we are not new. In city and in forest they smiled like me and you, but now it's come to distances and both of us must try. Your eyes are soft with sorrow. Hey, that's no way to say goodbye. I'm not looking for another as I wander in my time. Walk me to the corner, our steps will always rhyme. You know my love goes with you as your love stays with me. It's just the way it changes like the shoreline and the sea. But let's not talk of love or chains and things we can't untie. Your eyes are soft with sorrow. Hey, that's no way to say goodbye. I loved you in the morning, our kisses deep and warm, your head on the pillow like a sleepy golden storm. Yes, many love before us, I know that we are not new. In city And in forests they smiled like me and you. But let's not talk of love or chains and things we can't untie. Your eyes are soft with sorrow. Hey, that's no way to say goodbye.
I haven't listened to a whole lot of Leonard Cohen yet. What have I done? Listened to 3 or 4 of his songs. But already I can hear the Leonard Cohen style. He has a very specific musical style. His voice is lovely too, but there are certain things which I hear, I think, unless he pulls some surprise on me at some point in the future, I think that I could identify within a few seconds of starting, oh, that's another Leonard Cohen piece. And it's nice, some artists are very creative, varied in their stylistic output. Others, like what I'm hearing with Leonard Cohen, they have a particular strength and they live there where they know that they're strong and they know that that this is me. This is who I am. This is what I have artistically to share. And I notice I notice with the music that he has a certain rhythm that he sings a lot with his words, and a certain shape of phrase which comes consistently. I'm also noticing that he very often chooses female voices as a contrast to his, which is a brilliant choice because it works so incredibly well. Each time I've heard it, I think it should only be that and no other with his voice. The song itself, what a lovely, tender, beautiful piece of poetry. Um, it's perhaps, well, compared to some of the others I've listened to, I could say it's a bit less profound, but it has such a special quality. I loved you in the morning, our kisses deep and warm, your hair upon the pillow like a sleepy golden storm. What a description, a sleepy golden storm. Yes, many loved before us. I know that we are not new. I feel like with Leonard Cohen, there's always this awareness that he brings in that we're not special, and yet we're special. Many loved before us. I know that we are not new. In city and in forest. And he doesn't even have to say it, but we hear, yesterday and 1,000 years before, they smiled like me and you. That sets such a perspective for the entire rest of the piece. It makes us look far beyond where we are, and at the same time brings us right back around to think about us in the here and the now. And so it's especially more painful, this next line, but now it's come to distances, and both of us must try. He doesn't even have to say exactly what those distances are. You could put different perspectives on them, but it doesn't matter. You just feel that it's about distances. Now it has come to distances, and both of us must try. And in fact, he's just made us think about distance. Far away, city, forest, distance in, physical distance, distance in time. Although, as I said, he doesn't actually voice the thought, but the way he places the words, we immediately our minds go to this grand view of history and the realization that humanity has had these attachments and these affections and these intense feelings for one another for as long as we've existed, right? So he puts it all in context and then he brings it back around, as I said. Now it's come to distances, and we feel like we want to come back around close and intimate, but instead we meet this distance. And both of us must try. Your eyes are soft with sorrow. Hey, that's no way to say goodbye. So much comes through there. I I love his poetry, his writing, the way he sets things. I'm going to do something incredibly unfair, but I'm going to do it because I have to. When an artist is, or one who desires to be an artist, is attempting to express ideas, communicate images, stories, concepts, whether it's incredibly ordinary, mundane, whether it's deep and tender, whether it's grand, profound. So often, not always, but so often, to place it as Cohen does without actually just attacking it straight on or saying it straight out, is so effective if you do it well. And this is what's going to be unfair. But some time ago, I listened to Taylor Swift for the first time, and there was a lot of hype and buzz about her latest release. I understand she's a celebrity figure, and it's a whole different culture and context for that kind of musical, poetic, whatever you want to call it, creation than with someone like Leonard Cohen. But the contrast is so stark, so shocking, so vivid that I can't help but compare, especially because when I listened to Taylor Swift's music, I had to say that it was far more about the story and far less about the music itself, because the music is very dismissible. Here, I am listening to a poet, an artist, a musician who is kind of doing the same thing that Taylor Swift did, but on a whole different level. And that is why it's completely unfair to compare them. Taylor Swift will never be Leonard Cohen, never can be, as far as the level of artistry and depth to the poetry, even to the music. When I listen to Leonard Cohen's music, and in fact, I'll go to the harp in a minute, it's so simple, it's so, as I said, I start to find his fingerprint, his patterns. A couple more listens and I could probably create an imitation Cohen tune that, would be acceptable, and you'd say, oh yeah, that sounds kind of like what Leonard Cohen does, because he has a very specific style. It's because he's focused on the words. He's focused on the poetry. And the music shouldn't interfere with that. It should instead enable us. It should carry that poetry. It should enable us. It should lift it off the page for us and let us appreciate it for the poetry that it is. And this is a really interesting idea to think about, because you've heard me talk quite often about how a musician, a composer, an orchestrator, a performer can enhance, can color, can bring to life a text that maybe we wouldn't think so much of on its own, can paint the text, as I say, or illuminate the page. If you think back to the old illuminated manuscripts that are just so beautiful to look at because of the extra coloring, decoration, handwork that went into it. Musicians and music has the potential to do that. But in so doing, it also has the it results in the music making us think a certain way, interpret a certain way, putting certain images in our minds. And I noticed that Leonard Cohen's way of setting words to music is such that the music itself doesn't really interpret the lyrics for us. It is a vehicle. It is a beautiful vehicle, but it is a vehicle, and it simply picks up those lyrics and brings them closer to us without making us give more attention here, more attention there, weighting it this way, emphasizing that, shifting the perspective. The music is not doing that. And I feel like that is, for poetry like his, I feel like that is a very good choice. Well, it would be absolutely lovely to hear a completely different piece of music. Hear these words set to a completely different piece of music in a completely different style, more, as I say, painting the text. It would be absolutely lovely. But to enjoy the poetry for its own sake, what Leonard Cohen does with his music is perfect. And as I am listening to a bit more of his music, I begin to appreciate that more and more and more. And that's why I wanted to talk about it now. But let's go back and just pick out this melody just a little bit so we can watch a little bit of the contour, because you will see how simple, how gentle, how nice it comes about.
I loved you in the morning, our kisses.
Right, so one of the things that I notice about the way he moves through the different chord progressions, he really, really loves this 4/1 sound. It's so gentle, and it has such a nice, it's an easy way to cycle through different kind of sequences without really anchoring yourself too strongly in a certain key. Let's see if we can figure out where we're starting here. And he's setting us up with just F, C, F, C, F, C. Here's what that's doing. It's giving us kind of a rough impression of F and the 5 of F, which, if we were to play it, would be a C chord. But we don't really hear him move to we don't hear that move. We just hear. But as soon as his voice enters, we're no longer on this F chord. There's a little bit of a lift that happens when his voice enters because he's gone to the 4. So we have, this is where we start. He's saying, okay, this is our starting point. He's not really saying that's a strong home. It's just our starting point. Then we move here to the F. Minor.
Like a sleepy golden storm is many love before.
Now we're to E flat. So without getting too technical, well, let's go just a little further before I take us through there.
Is many love before us. I know that we are not new in city and in forest. They smiled like me and you.
So what he's doing, he's kind of taking us through a cycle of chords that makes us feel like we run into this 4/1 pattern several times. From the B flat to the F, 4/1. And then from this E flat up here, city and in forest, That feels like a one in the moment. It feels like one in the moment because we came from the 4. Now we're down to the B flat again, which means when we move to the F, suddenly we feel like B flat has served as both a 1 and a 4. So we're kind of going 4 1 4 1, and then somewhere else 4 1 4 1, and returning 4 1 4 1. So that's the harmonic outline. But now let's look at the melody itself, as promised.
Smiled like me and you, but now it's come to distances, and both of us must try. Your eyes are soft with sorrow. Hey, that's no way to say goodbye.
This is the moment at which he kind of brings us back around to the F that we started with. I said that was our starting point, and we've come back to it again. It's kind of where we live, but we're not firmly anchored there. And hey, that's no way to say goodbye. And we know it's an F because we have the women's voices up here, which is outlining. Hey, that's no way. But what he's doing here, since I was just talking about the harmonic progression, he's moving us from the 4. Hey, that's no way to say goodbye. That's a 4 to 1. Such a gentle descent. He loves this 4-1. Okay, so now we're coming back to kind of the beginning point of where the melody is. So let's follow this.
I'm not looking for another as I wander in my time. Walk me to the corner, our steps will always rhyme. You know my love goes with you as your love stays with me. It's just the way it changes like the shoreline and the sea. But let's not talk of love or change, things we can't untie. Your eyes are soft with sorrow. Hey, that's no
This is
way to say goodbye.
Now, I don't know if you could see in what I was playing on the strings, but we'll slow it down now. We have this 1, 2, 3, 4 walking down. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the shape of his melody. That's all he's got, really. That's all he's got. So it's note, note, and 1, 2, 3, 4, note, note, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it simply moves. Note, note, and 1, 2, 3, 4, note, note, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Moves again. Note, note, and 1, 2, 3, 4, note, note, and 1, 2, 3, 4, note, note, and 1, 2, 3, 4, note, note, 1, 2, 3, 4, note, note, and 1, 2, 3, 4, note. It's the same pattern. And then finally, he comes to, hey, that's no way to say goodbye. And so this is just a demonstration of what I was saying about he has a fingerprint. He has a particular style, which is soothing, lovely, pleasing to listen to, not distracting, no jagged edges, no abrupt harmonic changes to really pull our attention away. We just let to hear the poetry ride the waves, so to speak. Well, now that I'm getting more into and more familiar with a bit more of his work, kind of beginning to find the fingerprints, the stylistic traits of Leonard Cohen, I feel like saying, can we listen to another one very soon? Maybe we should make a special weekend out of this.
Hallelujah.
Okay, so this is going to be a special weekend. I think that's the consensus, right? Okay, special weekend. When you see this, we'll be right in the middle of it. This will be the first one for the weekend. We'll have another one following tomorrow. And I am going to kind of stay on this track of exploring his fingerprints, his special qualities that he brings to the music, which are, if I were to sum it up into one word, it would be gentleness. Gentleness gentleness and a sort of gentlemanly quality to everything that he touches. There's a sort of a feeling of dignity, deep dignity built into everything. But it's so gentle. And I guess that's one thing that appeals to me about his work, both his poetry and the way he sets it musically. Very nice. So, I'll see you tomorrow for another Leonard Cohen. I suppose it's Hallelujah, which I may as well say right now, I have heard that piece of music, but I have not heard Leonard Cohen's version of it. So this is going to be a bit exciting to dig into that. And until tomorrow, I'll see you soon.